Hello and welcome back to the Virtual University Rover Challenge 2021. We are joined by Mongol-Tori from BRACU in Bangladesh. We're getting ready for their session 1 on the original schedule. This was the time slot that they had booked for session 2, but due to some heavy rain they're experiencing, we had to delay last night's session to tonight. So they are actually going to be doing almost back-to-back between their two sessions. They'll be doing equipment servicing and autonomous navigation now, followed by a short break. And then they will be moving on a little bit later in the evening under a different live stream onto the extreme retrieval and delivery mission. So we're now going to welcome the team in. Mongol-Tori, welcome. All right.
Thank
we
you
also
so much,
have
sir.
Ellen and Daryl joining us, helping to judge. All right. If you all are ready to move on to the weigh-in and measuring the rover, we can begin with that.
Okay, sir. Now we are measuring our rover's weight. So the weight is at 49.8 kg.
Can you back up and show us the rover sitting on the scale again? Okay, great.
Back up and rover setting.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, great. You can take it off.
Okay. Now we will. Now we will be measuring the size of the rover, which was given 1.2 square meters. So we have prepared a frame of 1.2 meters at the each end. So.
Okay. Are you able to measure the frame to verify that it is 1.2 meters?
Yes, exactly. We have the measurement scale with us. So it's 120 centimeters.
Okay. Great. And the other dimension?
And from that dimension, it is also 120 centimeters.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Okay. So now I would like to show you the setup of our task, which has been set in here. The cash box has been at 2.750 kg.
Great. Thank you.
No, wait, which is this?
This is the toolbox that goes in the drawer.
Okay.
Okay. So can we just remove the scale for a better performance of our rover?
Yes.
The measurement scale over here? Okay.
Yes, you may remove that scale.
Okay. Thank you so much. Right here we have created a dummy rocket lander and with a storage box system. Like this one is empty here, as you can see. And then we will be doing the key pressing. This has been attached a keyboard and a USB memory stick over here. And then at the below we have the laptop display over here connected with the keyboard. And then we have the screw system, like 8 mm hex Allen screw with the screwdriver over here. So our rover will be grabbing this and then they will be moving this screw. And later on, these switches will be powered on by the rover, like this. And then at the end, we have the joystick over here. So right here, we have the joystick attached with a digital multimeter and an analog voltmeter.
What are the minimum and maximum values on that?
The maximum value is 20 volt and the minimum is 0.
Okay. Even if you go to the left on the, is it only a one-way joystick?
Yes, this is a one-way joystick. Like if I turn it right, then the value will be increased up. and then if I stop, then the valve will be going down.
Okay.
ভুলভাল বলতেছে ভুলভাল বলতেছে
Okay.
Okay.
0 to 20.
So now can we move?
Okay. That looks good.
ক্যাশ বক্সটা মাঝখানে আনে নাই
I'm sorry. Did you ask a question? I didn't
সাথে
hear.
Cash box.
Yes. If the team, if the
No, we
team
were
is ready,
removing
we'll go
the
ahead and
measurement
walk
scale of
over.
the cash box.
I'm sorry. The measurement of what? Are you
The
removing the scale?
toolbox. Okay, so now we are just going back to our rover.
And Kevin, confirm the time for equipment servicing.
Yes. So your team will have 30 minutes to complete this.
Okay,
And then at the
so I request
conclusion
my
of this,
team member. Yeah, please go ahead.
at the conclusion of this, as you and I had discussed by email, but so that everybody else is aware, your team has to physically move locations to get to where you were doing the autonomous navigation mission. So we'll grant you a little bit more than the normal 10 minutes that teams have for that transition. And then we will get started on autonomous navigation after that. But for now, can you confirm that your operators are ready to go on this mission?
Yeah, we are ready to go.
Okay, your 30-minute timer is starting now. You may go.
Okay, sir. দেখা হয়ে গেল একটু উঁচা করো একটু ডানে সামনে নিচে এটা এরকম করতে পারবা ওটা এরকম হয় আচ্ছা এখন দিয়ে রাখো পরে দেখা যাবে ধরো পিক করো পিক ক্লোজ করো লাল দাগটা খেয়াল করো লাল দাগের আগে রাখবো বেশি আগে হয়েছে হয়েছে ড্রাইভ রোভার সামনে এখন সমস্যা নেই রাইট ধরো একটু বামে হয়েছে ব্যাক হয়েছে তাহলে একটু ঘুরাই নিয়ে বাবা উপরে কোনায় ধরছে না একটু ডানে সরো বেসটা হ্যাঁ পোশাক করো তো ঘুরে নিচে থাকতে ঘুরে না হ্যাঁ ওকে দেখা যাচ্ছে কোনটায় দেখা যায় এই পুরো নিচে নামাতে ঘুরাচ্ছ এরকম করো নিচে না রোভার ঘুরে সাইড দিয়ে ঢুকো পুরোপুরি ঘুরে ওই দেয়ালের দিকে ঘুরে ফেলো দেয়ালের দিকে হ্যাঁ ব্যাকে আসো। কি হচ্ছে? তুমি ইয়াতে ব্যাকে আসতে পারছো, ঘোরার দরকার নেই, তুমি আরো ব্যাকে আসো। এবার আর্মটা দিয়ে ওই জায়গায় ঢুকাবে। বেড়ে যাবে। একটু সামনে বামে, বেসটা একটু বামে। আটকে গেছে, হালকা একটু বামে। হ্যাঁ না, আরেকটু সামনে। না এই আর্ম সামনে, একটু বামে নাও। বেশ বামে আসেন না, আবার ঘুরে গেছে রে। সোজা নাও, রোভার আগে নাও, বাড়ি না খায়। আরেকটু আগাও, আরেকটু আগাও। হ্যাঁ রাখো। ড্রপ করলে কি পড়বে ফিরোজ? আর্মটা সামনে আগে তোর, স্ট্রেচ, আর্মটা স্ট্রেচ, ঘোরা না। হচ্ছে না তো, বক্স ঢুকে যাচ্ছে। বক্সটা দেখে আবার এই টাস্ক নাম্বারটা বের করো। ব্যাক আসো, ব্যাক আসো, বক্সে বক্স মাটিতে রেখে দাও। আরো ব্যাকে এসে রাখো, আরো ব্যাকে এসে রাখো, নাহলে অন্য টাস্কে আটকে যাবে।
You have 20 minutes remaining. 20 minutes remaining.
ওকে, রাখো রাখো, এখানে রাখো। আর্মটা নিচে নামে রেখে দাও। দেখে আবার রাখো রাখো রাখো, নিচে রেখে দাও। ঠিক আছে, কিবোর্ডের কাছে যাও, কিবোর্ড কিবোর্ড। কিবোর্ডে সোজা যে প্রেস করো। Sir, what is the word we will write in the keyboard?
Okay. For keyboard, your letters B M T.
BME.
BMT for BRACU Mongol-Tori.
Oh, acha, BMT. Okay.
Yes, the initials of BRACU Mongol-Tori.
Okay, I got it. বাড়ি মারারটা অ্যালাইন করো। লেফটে যাও, আরো সামনে আগাবো। রোবার সামনে আগাও, টাটা। B, BRACU B. হ্যাঁ রোভার আরো সামনে, হ্যাঁ হয়েছে। লাইটটা কই? ফিরোজ লাইটটা কই? লাইট তো দেখি না। হ্যাঁ সোজা রোভার সোজা লাগবে না। সোজা লাইটটা কই? লাইটটা কই দেখি? ফিরোজ লাইটটা কই? পয়েন্টার লাইট মানে কোথায় খুঁজে পাচ্ছ নাকি? দেখো আমি চোখে দেখতেছি না। কই? এর নিচে ঝুলতেছে।
For the individual with the camera following the rover, can you confirm that the rover operators are not able to hear you? Or are they able to hear you?
Yes. No,
Okay.
they are not being able to hear us.
Okay, okay, thank you very much.
নিচে যাও, নিচে যাও, নিচে নামো, নিচে নামো, আমি দেখতেছি, নিচে নামো। ডানে একটু আমটা আচ্ছা বামে না, বামে না, একটু বামে, একটু বামে, একটু বামে, হালকা বামে, হালকা একটু সোজা, আমটা সামনে নাও, উঁচা উপরে, সামনে নাও, সামনে উপরে, সামনে নাও, আবার সামনে উপরে উঠাও, সামনে নাও। হ্যাঁ এক নম্বরে টপ হয়ে গেছে অ্যাকচুয়েটর। আচ্ছা রোভার সামনে হালকা হালকা হালকা, আরেকটু, এবার বামে নাও, বেশ বামে, আমটা সামনে নিতে পারবার, হালকা হালকা নাও, হালকা সামনে রোভার। আচ্ছা এই অবস্থায় রোভার পিছাই লাগে না। আচ্ছা ডানে নাও, আর্ম ডানে নাও, ডানে নিয়ে দাও, ডিলিট ডিলিট বাটন চাপ, ব্যাক স্পেস, রোভার না, আর্ম আর্ম আর্ম, উপরে উঠাও।
Would you mind moving the camera a little closer so that we can tell when it is pushing on the keyboard?
সোজা রোভার সামনে আগো, দাও দাও দিতে।
Thank you.
Yeah, is that supposed to be showing on the screen below or somewhere?
Okay, we are just focusing on the screen.
রোভার আসে না কেন?
Okay. And the letters will come up there.
আর্ম নাড়াও, আর্ম নাড়াও, হাতিব কিছু কাজ করে না। বামে যাও, বামে, আর্ম নাড়াও, আর্ম নাড়াও, হুইল নাড়াবো না একবারে, হুইল হালকা সামনে, একটু একটু নিচে, আর্ম নিচে, একটু সামনে, হ্যাঁ হয়েছে, এবার আর্ম সামনে নিতে পারবা, একটু নিচে নাও, একটু নিচে নাও, বিয়ের সামনে নাই কিন্তু, একটু ডানে, একটু আরেকটু ডানে, হালকা ডানে, হ্যাঁ একটু বামে নাও, হালকা বামে, হালকা, হ্যাঁ উপরে রাখবো, একটু উপরে, হালকা উপরে, হালকা হালকা, ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ মারো, হয়েছে, বি এম এম এম, ডানে, জাস্ট ডানে, আর্ম ডানে, বেস ডানে, না না বেশি যায়নি, ঠিক আছে মারো, অন্য কিছু তো হয়নি, উপরে যাও,
Can
আর্মটা
you
উপরে,
show us the arm as it is typing right now?
হচ্ছে তুমি
Can you repeat?
আর্মটা ডানে নাও,
Can you please show us the
BMT
robot arm?
না না সামনে মারো না, সামনে যাও,
Sure.
Thank you.
একটু বামে নাও, বেশ বামে নাও, আরেকটু বামে, একটু সামনে আগাইতে হবে, এত দূর থেকে হবে না, না এবার নিচে নাও, একটু নিচে নাও, একটু ডানে, হ্যাঁ ডানে নাও, একটু উপরে নিতে হবে না ফেরত, 5 প্রেস হবে, একটু ডানে নাও, একটু ডানে নাও, কোনাকুনি মারতে, আরেকটু ডানে, হালকা ডানে, হ্যাঁ মারো, হয়েছে, ব্যাক এসো। Sir, we have completed our keyboard task, as you can
I
see.
see the screen, please?
M এর পর একটা মনে ডট করছে, ডাবল করছে,
Does the team believe that they are, or do the operators believe they are done with that? Do they believe it is correct?
আর 10 মিনিট আছে, এটা কি ঠিক করবা?
Can the operators hear us?
Yeah, sir, we think we are correct.
Okay.
USB ধরো, ইনসার্ট করা লাগবে না, খালি নিয়ে ফেলা যাবে। Sir, we are now pick up the USB device which is attached to the panel. সামনে নাও, এখানে ধাক্কা হলে সমস্যা নেই, নিচে নাও, আর নিচে নাও, নিচে নামো না, পরে বাংলা ডানে, বেশ ডানে সরাও, আর কিচ্ছু করা লাগবে না, বেশ ডানে সরাও, একটু উপরে উঠাও, একটু সামনে নিয়ে ক্লোজ করো, হয় নাই, উপরে হ্যাঁ টান দাও। Sir, we are keeping the USB insert device.
I'm sorry, please say that one more time.
So we are skipping the insert USB device part. Now we are moving to the toggle switch part, which is sub panel 4. সোজা আমুচা করে ফেলো, আমটা এরকম করো, লাগবে না, তুমি এই যে এই মাথা দিয়ে উঁচা করবে, ঠিক আছে, হ্যাঁ এরকম থাক, এই এত না, তুমি খুলো, খুলো আগের জায়গায় আনো, ঘুরাই, হ্যাঁ তুমি সোজা যাও, নিচে নামো।
There are 7.5 minutes remaining.
Yes, sir.
7.5 minutes remaining.
Yes, sir. We have stopwatch in our base. সামনে, রোভার সামনে আগে যাও, সমস্যা নেই, আরেকটু সামনে, আরেকটু হ্যাঁ এবার আর নিচে নামা বামে বেস বামে আর্ম সামনে এবার হচ্ছে উপরে একটু ডানে নিয়ে উপরে উপরে হয়েছে বেস বেস ডানে হুইল নড়াবা না বেস ডানে একটু নিচে হ্যাঁ উঁচা 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 ডানে একটু রোভার একটু পিছনে হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে উঁচা ডিরেক্ট উঁচা ঠিক আছে ব্যাকে আসো ঘুরে ওই পাশে যাও Sir, we are trying to do this up panel 6 first, then sub panel 5. Is it okay?
Say again, please.
Acha, okay.
Please
Yeah.
repeat.
Okay, sir, now we are trying to do this up panel 5, which is tighten the screw.
Okay.
Or can we take this up panel 6 first?
You can do this in any order you want.
Okay.
For this mission, order does not matter.
এটা ঘুরাইতে গেলে আর্ম ছেড়ে দিতে পরেরটা পারতো না
So for the joystick engage, you will start by taking it to its maximum value of 20 volts.
Sorry sir, can you repeat?
The first position for the joystick engage is at its maximum value of 20 volts.
Yeah. So what is the requirement volt of you?
So the first position you need to reach is 20 volts.
20 volt,
readout.
the first position.
Yes, first position is
Okay.
the maximum value.
Okay. হ্যাঁ 20 ভোল্টের নিতে বলছে বিশ ভোল্টের নিতে বলছে ফার্স্ট পজিশন এটা 5 ভোল্ট এই মাল্টিমিটারে 5 ভোল্ট উঠবে হ্যাঁ
না মাল্টিমিটার 5 ভোল্ট না এটা যদি এই সার্কিটে 5 ভোল্ট না
কেমনে আগের তো 20 লেখা
ওর তো সার্কিট ডায়াগ্রাম দিছে এই সার্কিট
আচ্ছা তুমি দাও না দেখি একটু সামনে এই নিচে হালকা নিচে হ্যাঁ ডানে একটু উপরে উঠো 20 ভোল্ট দেখা যাবে একটু পিছনে আসতে পারবা ঠিক আছে ডানে নাও একটু সামনে নাও আর্মটা ব্যাকে
As they are moving the joystick, can you please make sure we are able to read the readouts on the display?
সামনে নাও গ্র্যাব করো পুরো গ্র্যাব করো না হালকা একটু ফাঁকা রাখো কত ব্যাকে যাও 20 পার হয়ে গেছে এই তোমার কমে যাচ্ছে তো 14-15 হয়ে গেছে
Can you show us the digital multimeter readout?
ছেড়ে দাও
Yes, sure.
ছেড়ে দাও না ওপেন করো একটু ডানে নাও হালকা রোভার ডানে নাও ছেড়ে দাও একটু ডানে নাও sir, is it okay or we will do again?
I can't read the readout.
Yeah,
done now.
go back to the maximum value. We could
Sir,
not
as
see it.
our maximum value is 20, so it is showing that 0L after 19.8 or something.
Okay, we weren't able to see it.
Okay, done.
is there a needle on the analog gauge? We could not see. Oh, that's a good view.
Yeah.
Sir, you can see in the multimeter or digital multimeter. Done now.
Yes, we can see right now.
Okay.
We can read the multimeter, and that's great, but you need to send it to the max value. Oh, now it's over limit.
Yes, sir. So our max limit is 20. So after crossing the 20 volt, it is showing the 0L, which is showing that the maximum limit is exited.
Okay.
So can we do it in the 19.8 or 19.9?
Okay, we'll call
Yes.
that good enough.
Yep.
Yeah. If you max it out, then it hit 20 volts. So we will count that.
Okay. There's a second value, correct?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ellen, pick a number that's between 0 and 20.
7.
7 volts is your next number.
Okay. Bame. So we are decreasing our value, which is 9, 8, and 7.3 to 1. Done now. Bame, বেশি হয়ে গেছে.
All right. Can you keep it at 7 volts?
Yeah. Okay. Off.
Yep.
Sir, is it okay?
It was momentarily right on.
Well, other than the freezing video. Can you hold it steady at 7?
Okay, that is time.
So I think it is now 7. 7.8
right now it's
or
9.
6.
Oh, 7.
Okay, so the timer has gone off for this.
Yeah.
So we saw it passing 7, but we never saw holding the value at any point. It was constantly changing.
Kevin, is that their time up?
I'm sorry?
Is that their time up?
Yes.
Yeah.
You all heard that your time is up, correct?
Okay, sir. Do we need to stop our rover now?
Yes. The time is up for this mission. So your team should start transitioning to the autonomous navigation. I know that you have to move your site, so you can start doing that as quickly as possible.
Yeah, sir. How much time will we get?
I know it's probably going to take you a few extra minutes, so let's start with the standard 10 minutes and see where your team is in 10 minutes.
Okay, so in the meantime, do we need to off our live streaming, or we have to connect in the live streaming?
So we will keep this live stream open. If you need to disconnect videos and then rejoin, you can.
Okay, thank you, sir. We are correcting you in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. বন্ধ করে 10 মিনিট টাইম দিছে তো বন্ধ করতে পারো রাইট বন্ধ করতে পারো বাট আবার কানেক্ট করতে হবে
What do you think on points for the second position of the gauge?
Okay. So are we offline, i.e., this the three of
No,
us?
we're online.
Yeah,
Okay.
we are still live streaming, so everyone's watching us now.
So what do you think on the score for the second gauge position?
What's the max score?
It is out of 8 points for each of the values.
Or in other words, each one of the 6 tasks has 8 points.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Just within subpanel 6, which was the joystick and gauge, we gave them 2 values. For holding the max value, that was out of 8. And then for holding the second value we gave, that was also out of 8, just for holding at 7 volts.
Okay, it didn't hold at 7. It kind of wavered.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I'd give it 4.
Sure, that sounds fair to me. All right.
Okay. And on the
What else
3-letter
have we got on
code,
this?
the 3-letter code was supposed to be BMT. There was a comma between BMT. They mashed the M and the comma at the same time, but did not notice that.
Right. So it's normally 5 points per letter. They definitely got the first 2 cleanly, but not like the last one.
Yeah.
Wasn't
And
very
you could
clean.
count it 2 ways.
So what do you think in
as it
total
was,
out of 15?
I was thinking 10, and they either got the B and the M correct, or they got the B and the T pressed correctly, and you look at the key mash between the M and the comma that they didn't clean up.
Yep, I agree with 10.
All right. I might have been a little bit generous with that one, but
Okay, the switches, what's the max score for that?
The switches were 9 points maximum, 3 per switch.
Okay,
yeah,
I'd
they
say
definitely got that clean.
then
And what
for
about the
opening
picking up
drawer-
the USB device?
Yeah,
they didn't insert it.
Right.
So
But there's
for
5
that
points
one,
for picking
there's-
it up.
Yeah, 5 points to pick it up, and then 15 to insert it. I guess the question is, did they have sufficient control of it? They pulled it out of a USB slot that wasn't required, and that looked good, but then almost immediately dropped it.
Yeah. I would say they didn't have functional control of it.
So, maybe 2 points.
Yeah,
All right.
All right.
Okay, I think
And
that's good. And they didn't even try the screw, right?
correct.
And then on the first sub panel, they did successfully open the drawer for 3 points, and they picked up the toolbox for 5, but that's as far as they got.
Yeah, they kind of almost closed the drawer by accident.
Yeah.
They could have gotten some points for closing the drawer completely. But
Yeah. It'd only gone just a bit further.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Darren suggesting that a 3 plus 5. Open the drawer, pick up the
picking up
toolbox.
the toolbox.
Okay,
And so with the numbers we've discussed, that gives them 41 points.
all right, 18, 20.
That's a pretty healthy score.
I agree. Okay.
All right. And they've got a few extra minutes while they transfer to the outdoor location, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is it okay if we have observational conversations at this point?
Yeah, they might be watching the live stream, so perhaps just depends. As long as we're not giving anything away.
Okay. Well, my observation is that by having a box that was 4-sided and 4 different task sets, they had to do a lot of extra moving of the rover.
Well, that was what we asked them to do. They were supposed to do that. That was intentional.
We didn't specify how many different sides it had to be. It was implied that there needed to be some amount of movement between sides. Teams, if they stay true to what the lander shape is out in Utah, there would be 3 different sides. So it's a hexagon, but only 3 of the sides are used.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the pharaohs might have asked Protocase or something to just build them a duplicate because that looks like a mighty good duplicate they had.
We'll have to follow up with
But we
Protocase.
also didn't know if teams would have any facilities at all. I mean, it was designed so they could just take a desk out and plonk a computer on a desk, or, you know, similarly with the other things, they could just make a panel up and they didn't have to make a polished equipment panel like we have out in Utah. They could kind of cobble something together. But the driving between panels was intentional.
Okay, got it. Thank you. And is there some design reason why a lot of these tasks are high relative to the height of the rover? Is this optimized for the way the typical rover arms work?
No, it's optimized for a human. And then the rover is basically doing jobs that an astronaut might otherwise do. So it's, I mean, we start off with very simple stuff like, you know, flips and switches, and pretty much every rover can do that. And then it gets progressively harder. I mean, if you think about how much effort it takes you to pick up a toolbox and put it in a drawer, I mean, you'd be done in 20 seconds, right? But, you know, it takes a rover 5 minutes or more, assuming it doesn't drop, assuming it doesn't close the drawer by accident or whatever, right? So, I mean...
Well, I'm asking a more existential question, which has to do with, are we trying to simulate what a human would do, or are we trying to come up with a way for an autonomous or a remotely manned vehicle accomplish certain tasks in an environment that's set up better for the mechanical object as opposed to a human?
Yeah, the thought process when we first introduced this task many years ago at this point was, it was based on lessons learned at MDRS, where if there's an equipment malfunction or failure while the crew is inside the hab, rather than having to go through the cumbersome process to put on a spacesuit, do the lockout in the pressure chamber before going outside, just to flip a couple of switches on a faulty generator or some other piece of equipment that was designed for a human. If you have a rover that's able to go out and do that, it would save you a considerable amount of time. So it was Daryl was saying the original thought was it is equipment that has been designed specifically for a human, and the question is, how can a robot go into that human focused environment and add value?
Got it. And of
Because
course,
for a lot of these, if you were to really say, how do you design for an autonomous system a bit better, 80% of the things could be done by just Bluetooth communication.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, if you were designing this to be done purely by a rover or something, you'd automate the heck out of it, right? You wouldn't have it designed for a human to touch it at all. Like, you'd
right, exactly. That's why I'm asking the question, because I come from the more recent experience of observing what's going on Mars and thinking, well, we don't have humans around. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the harder tasks on the equipment panel, we usually say we pick tasks that we know are intentionally easy for humans but hard for robots. So, I mean, we start off with stuff that's easy for robots and we work our way up.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I imagine at some point when humans are traversing to Mars that the supplemental tasks will include playing the violin or something else. And I say that only because in remote places I've been, there's always someone who brings some way to make music.
Indeed.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to move locations.
Okay. All right, for anybody who is watching the live stream and is wondering where the team and Rover are, the team is currently between the equipment servicing and autonomous navigation missions, but for the Mongol-Tori team, they are having to move between two different sites just due to some weather challenges that they've been having recently. So we're giving them a little bit of additional time that shut their camera feeds down while they're conducting that transition. So hopefully we will see them back online shortly to get everything set up.
Do we have any text or other communication with them while they're doing the transition?
I could email them, but I would imagine they're probably pretty busy.
Got it. Do we confirm the size of the field they're putting their posts in? Or is it just a visual?
Yeah, assuming they're using the course we sent them the coordinates for, they should be fine.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, Kevin, I made the comment earlier in one session about having a steady cam, just because it's
Yes.
hard to I get seasick watching some of these. And it turns out that there are 3-axis gimbaled sticks, call it, that you can
Yes.
mount, say, your phone on. And that might be a good thing to advise them to have for their field person in the future.
Yeah, if we ever end up doing any remote video sessions for any reason, I definitely agree. This would be useful. Hopefully, there will not be any instances where we're replacing finals with a virtual event anymore. So hopefully, this was the last of those.
Sorry, Kevin, you were gobbled for most of that.
Yep, sorry, I was probably covering my mic.
No, I think it was the audio feed in general.
Hopefully, this is the last time that we're having a virtual event in lieu of the finals. But yeah, I think as we have discussions about how we can incorporate this new streaming technology into events, either through the design reviews or otherwise in engaging with the teams, certainly having steady cams would be very beneficial.
Yeah, we also had a request to send the post places the coordinates like 2 hours ahead, not half hour ahead. So, I'm sure that would help avoid human error in post placement that we've seen at least twice. So.
Oh. Let's see. Can I assume, observing these rovers, so far in this virtual competition, that the wheels have been designed for the Mars Desert Research Station environment, i.e. more like Mars, rather than either asphalt or grass or something else.
Ideally, they have. And I think we see that with some wheels more than others. We've actually, in the last few years, have seen a lot more focus on custom wheel designs. A number of years ago, it seemed as though most teams were switching over to a specific type of kind of balloon tire, which you see on small wagons designed to take to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Large inflatables. So those were the standard for a number of years. There are some teams that use those but modify them by designing and adding their own treads. And then more recently, we've seen very innovative designs that are focused on what teams believe they'll be facing at MDRS.
Okay, got it. Because I took pictures of the wheels of most of the vehicles I could see when we were there in 2019, because I thought the difference in the variety was quite broad in how they not only had 4 or 6, but also their absolute design and how they protected their motors. The Stanford guys who came in third, when I asked them, well, what did you do to get to this point? They said they studied a lot of the successes of previous year's teams. And one of the big design points for them was really saying so-and-so, I think it was the Polish team for the previous year, had really great wheels. And we thought that would be a design we would follow.
Yeah, there have definitely been some highly innovative wheels. Some teams that have been doing 3D printed wheels where they're actually building suspension, thoughtful suspension into the wheel itself. There's a team from Poland that for a number of years had a novel concept. It was a Kevlar fabric filled with essentially beanbag material, where it was not a very firm wheel at all, but it provided an extraordinary amount of traction. And they would, outside of the competition itself, they would practice scaling some of the very steep cliff walls near MDRS, and they could routinely climb up slopes that were in long distances.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I climbed up a 60-degree slope with that Rover.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive.
Oh, wow. Well, that tells you something about a deformable surface.
Indeed. So we're still waiting on the Mongol-Tori team. I sent them an email. We haven't heard what their status is as they're transitioning sites. So there are folks joining on YouTube right now. Looks like a few new visitors have joined. So for anyone that doesn't know what's going on and is wondering where the Rover is, the team is in between mission tasks right now and has to do a site transition. So we're waiting for them to rejoin us. We are watching the YouTube comments. So if anybody watching the YouTube session right now has any questions, feel free to add those in. And we'll certainly do our best to answer them. And if it sounds like we're just trying to fill dead space, I'll be honest that we don't typically have to fill 20 minutes worth of space in the middle of the competition. So
yeah.
Hopefully everybody is enjoying the conversation about some of the finer details of URC.
So I made a comment about an observation that a lot of the comms sound like my childhood when we were listening to shortwave radio, because that's what we had. So there's been a lot of distortion, and of course I'm sort of expecting a more clean digital signal. Is there any insights you can give on this?
Not easily. So, I think it varies quite a bit team to team. And some of them, we're hearing their local chatter, perhaps over a radio that's kind of in the background, which, would probably lend itself much more to what you're uh, used to hearing and referring to. The audio of the teams who are talking directly with us, I think a lot of times when we're having trouble, is just based on the audio equipment or the recording equipment the teams are using. So if teams aren't using a dedicated headset microphone, and certainly over the last year, I think we've seen a lot of instances where people who don't have good microphone setups, you end up with a lot of distortion, and certainly a lot of Bluetooth-based microphones, the way they compress the audio signal before sending it into a streaming service that has another layer of compression. Oftentimes, as you start compounding compression of audio signals, you end up with distortion and very choppy audio quality.
Okay, thank you.
With the last team, I think there was a lot of echo as well of the machinery sounds because they were working indoors. So early on, I noticed there were some very high-pitched sounds coming through. And I think it was just the motors working, but then echoing through that indoor space.
Okay, let's see. Kevin, did they give you an indication of the distance between the equipment servicing and the autonomous nav sites? Are they talking going miles or?
They didn't specifically say. I guess I interpreted it as basically just running down a long hallway and moving from indoors to outdoors of a building. But turns out I could be incorrect.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where on their campus they did the indoor stuff. But I mean, it's probably not more than a few hundred meters.
Okay. And how do we confirm, you've given them GPS points for the location of all of the stakes, correct? The posts? So
Yes.
how do we ascertain that the posts are exactly where they should be? Is there a readout when
There really
whether or not
isn't.
the rover finds them?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is if the posts are in the wrong spot, then the rover operators will have a much harder time of sending the rover to the correct location because the rover operators are given the coordinates themselves. So there's two separate files that are sent. There's instructions for the post placers, and then instructions to the rover operators, which are much more abbreviated. And we simply provide them with a point, and they drive to that point. So if the post placer misplaces the post by 30 or 40 meters, then they're basically dooming the team's chance of success.
Got it. And the course itself is a prescribed course. They go A to B to C to Z, or is there a progression that is typical for these courses?
So for this course, there is a pre-specified format. Daryl came up with an automated routine. So teams had to provide us with essentially the coordinates of the four corners of the field or workspace that they would be in. So they predefined a rectangle that they are able to use. and Daryl had a routine based on a predetermined shapefile where he could remap what the new coordinates would be and adjust for slight differences in dimensions.
Ellen, the best thing, if you have the schedule open, that should be available to the judges. And if you click on the course placer file, that should be down on line
row
23.
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on. Let me get there. Placer file.
Right. Go along and find. Where is it? Where are we? Go find Mongol-Tori on now, and then go down to line 23.
Yeah.
And if you click on that file, you'll see in there a picture of all of the locations and a picture of all of the posts. So you'll be able to see where everything is and what the posts at each location should look like.
Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, I see a layout. Okay. And then in terms of the course itself, we tell them to go direct to post 1. And then
they have instructions that basically tell them where to go. The first couple of coordinates are exactly the same. And then after that, we start messing with them by putting the post some distance away or putting some obstacles in the way. And they have to start, either doing a search for it or going around the obstacles that are in the way. But the first couple should be spot on. You should be able to drive straight.
And the obstacles, as I recall, are the size of, say, an oil drum or a large trash can in the real world. The size of the obstacles, if it were, are large trash cans or oil drums?
Yeah, oil drum, basically, or 50-gallon barrel.
Got it.
Or something of equivalent size.
All righty.
Again, I mean, normally out at MDRS, I mean, if you've been out there, we use natural obstacles, but for this, we were expecting them to do it on a soccer field or something. Or I think these guys are using a cricket field tonight, and we needed something that we thought they might have around or something they could reasonably make. So 50-gallon drums are usually pretty easy to come by, and if you want to make something out of plywood, it's not hard to make a few obstacles of that size. So, but yeah, normally we'd have them drive over rocks and around hills and.
Yes. Okay, I'm asking these questions because I spent my time in the in a different part of the missions, so this is new to me.
Next year, come up and visit the north site.
Actually, when I first got to MDRS in 2019, the first site I saw as I drove in, and I stopped and talked with a couple of the teams, was the science mission. And I was pretty impressed at that moment with sort of the objectives they were trying to accomplish in terms of real-time sampling and assay.
Yeah, that mission is always a fun one. And it's the part that I really enjoy is coming up with a challenge where engineers have to interface with scientists and figure out how to speak the same language and how to set mutual expectations. And, for scientists, figure out a way to translate their requirements into what the engineers need to actually build a system. And then for the engineers to understand how to take requirements that are not necessarily in their interests of, just building the coolest machine, and figuring out how to incorporate those. So that's always a fun design element. And then certainly for the actual scientists on the team to, be able to do field briefings with actual professional astrobiologists is certainly always fun. That's where you find out which teams actually recruited scientists as members, and which teams have engineers that try to rapidly cross-train in science disciplines. Sometimes with success, and more often less success.
Hello, sir.
Ah,
Yes. Are you back, Mongol-Tori?
Yeah, sir, we are ready.
Okay. So can you bring your video back?
Yeah, camera on.
okay.
Great. Do you have the second video feed joining as well?
Okay. Second video feed on করছে? ওটা অন করছে নাকি অন করতে বলো?
অন এটা দেখা যায় না এখানে? নাই। কোথায় দেখা যায় না?
কালি ভাই এইটা আমি ওখানে নিয়ে চলে যাব।
আবার জয়েন করতে বলো।
আবার জয়েন কর আমার তো, আবার জয়েন কর।
না আগে থেকে আমি জয়েনটা দিয়ে রাখছি।
ভুল লিংকে জয়েন করছে নাকি?
ভাই কেউ রেডিও
Sir, just a little bit minute. Sir, our second camera is disconnected, so he is trying to reconnect again.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, can you see the second camera feed?
We can.
Yes,
we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, we have you
Sir,
back.
this is the field camera of our, and the another one is the base camera. So we are trying to show you the distance between the base and the field. So can you see the field over there?
Yes, and we can see that your field of view is obstructed. So thank you for that. So for the camera, this camera that's panning right now, that stays on the controllers or the operators, the one thing that we need to be able to see is that when you enter autonomy mode, we need to be able to see that your hands go off of the keyboards and that you are no longer controlling.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And when the rover reaches the gates, we need to know what type of signal the rover uses to indicate.
কি signal দিবে? Rover পৌঁছালে green LED flash করবে. Sir, when the rover reaches the signal, the onboard green LED will be flashed.
Okay, so green indicates it has reached the gate.
Yeah, and the you can see the base station screen. So we will see the rover. Purple one is the rover, and it will go to the number 1 gate here.
All right.
Okay,
Can you
so
show us where
the-
on the rover the green light is? I didn't see that.
Yeah, the purple one is our rover. And this is the first coordinate.
Yes. Okay, so we can see the lights there. Thank you for that. So for what you were showing on the display, simply showing the position match of the rover and the tag location is not enough. We need to see evidence from the rover that has undergone that state change in its autonomy and believes.
Yes,
it
sir.
is at the
When we start the autonomy mode, it will show the path the rover is traversing.
Yes. Okay.
It will show automatically the path traversing paths in this screen.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that. All right. Is your team ready to begin?
Yeah, our team is ready.
And the timing?
Yep. Got the clock ready to go. We will start now. You may go.
Okay. এই চালু হয়েছে চালু হয়েছে হাত সরে ফেলো কই sir as you are seeing that our rover is moving and our hands are off the screen
ফেসটা দেখান স্ক্রিন স্ক্রিন
yes কই zoom করবা না so we are zooming the screen so that you can see the tracing path the route path
Thank you for clarifying.
ম্যানুয়ালে দিতেছে ভাই
সমস্যাটা কি দেশে পৌঁছেছে পৌঁছেছে আমরা এখানে বুঝে sir I think our rover is reached in the point 1
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Can you show us the AR tag?
air air tag show করতে পারবা
Okay, there we go.
sir our air tags PC is inside the rover
Okay.
Yes.
Which tags
sorry
did you
for
use?
that sir
Did you use different tags than the ones we posted?
yeah sir আমাদের ট্যাগ গুলা দুই একটা স্যাম্পল দেখাও রোবট চলতেছে কেন রোবট চলতেছে কেন হ্যাঁ কোন দুঃখে ভাই ওর সমস্যাটা কি
The video flying right.
So we are trying to put the second coordinate now.
Okay, fair enough.
Wait, you're just putting the second coordinate in now? What was the rover doing while it was driving just now? What was the rover doing after it hit that first tag?
So after reading the first tag, I think it will read the bad GPS signal, so it move a little bit further from the first point. But now it is stable
So-
as our satellite is back. All the satellites.
So the computer operator is doing what?
So, ma'am, we are just put the second coordinate. So, if we start the autonomy button, then it will go from point 1 to point 2.
Thank you.
I got the point.
Do we start?
Sure.
Yeah. So we have just started and we put our hands off this screen. তো এটাই ছিল 1 এখন ওটাই আছে তুমি যেটা দিছো আবার ডিসকানেক্ট কেন 1 ওটাই ছিল ওটাই আছে অটোমেটিক কই যাচ্ছে না So can you see the rover moving from point 1 to point 2?
Is that gate 2 right there?
একটু জুম করো
Can you please confirm if that is gate 2? You are using different AR tags than we provided, so we cannot verify gate numbers.
এটা কি গেট টু শিওর
So the rover is green.
So is that gate 2?
as our calculation it is leg 2
Okay, so the problem is after gate 1, your rover was traversing for a while. Then you stopped it, entered coordinates, and from the spot you entered coordinates, it was probably less than 10 meters from this spot. So you did not complete a full traversal from gate 1 to gate 2.
That's about right. Gate 2 is not very far from gate 1.
Is that close enough? Or is that? Do you think they're good, Daryl?
Yeah, I think they're good.
Okay.
so get 3 sir now
Yeah, go
are
for
we
gate 3.
get 3 তে যাও get 3 তে যাও 2 শেষ আমাদের
So to clarify, they're entering the GPS coordinates of the next target manually, as opposed to having a list that then the rover follows.
Correct.
Yeah, when the rover is stopped at a gate, they can enter any information they want. They're just not allowed to drive the rover.
yes sir we are not driving
then-
we are just putting the
Right.
light long
That's fine.
coordinate
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, when the rover's moving, they need to be hands off, but they can type in anything they want while it's at the gate.
And total time for this autonomous task is what?
30 minutes. We have just over 20 minutes remaining.
উপরটা কেটে দাও ফার্স্টটা কেটে দাও তুমি তো সেকেন্ডটা দিছো রোবট যেখানে থাক
বেশি ইয়া করে দেবে হাত না করে দিলে বুঝতে পারবে না 360
কাজের থেকে ঝামেলা হয়েছে
So there are 4 obstacles and 11 posts. What is the point count for each post?
Like this.
Okay. Zoom karo.
Alan, can you see the
Alan,
score
if you
sheet?
Sir, our desired coordinate is this.
I'm sorry.
Our waypoint is this for the point 3 or coordinate 3.
Okay.
It's
Gate
whatever
3.
you were given on that sheet.
Sir, it is the coordinate you gave us in the mail, so we have write it down in the just normal text sheet.
And please,
Okay.
পরের গুলা বলেন
And
যে ব্যবহার
these 2 coordinates are the our
smooth ঘোরার জন্য।
for our smooth rotation of our rover. It is put manually for we have put the manually 2 coordinates, and this is our final coordinate for point 3. So is it okay?
Okay.
Did you understand, or do I repeat?
Yep. You can proceed to gate 3.
Oh, okay, you can proceed.
শুরু করবো ভাই।
হ্যাঁ, শুরু করতে বলতে হবে। শুরু করো।
অটো মোড।
হ্যাঁ। যাচ্ছে? যাচ্ছে?
অটো মোড।
কই যাচ্ছে? কিন্তু যাচ্ছে দেখতেছি।
হুম? চাকা পিছলাইতেছে।
টাকা পিছলাচ্ছে?
ম্যানুয়ালি একটু এটা হাত দিয়ে একটু ইয়া করে দিতে হবে।
আমাদের হাত দেখো, আমরা যে ধরি নাই। মানে আমরা যে স্ক্রিনে হাত দেই নাই, এটা দেখ। আস্তে উপরে উঠে গেছি। ঘর দিয়ে উপরে চলে আসছে। ডানে চলে আসছে। কানেকশন লস হয়েছে, কিন্তু রাস্তায় চলে আসছে। আরে ঘুরতে পারছে। কিন্তু এটা তো এখন একে যাবে, একে যে আবার ব্যাক করতে হবে। আমি তো এটাই বললাম, আমি পয়েন্ট দিয়ে আরো প্যারা বানাই, ডিরেক্ট যায় তোরা, ধাক্কা মারলে তো সমস্যা নেই গেটের মধ্যে। তুমি ভাই
Didn't like that one.
ওটা তো ছাড়া আছে না, ছাড়াই থাক, ঘুরতেছে ফেরত। ম্যানুয়ালি হলে ডানে নে না, আমার নিচ্ছিস না। হ্যাঁ সমস্যা নাই। So as you are seeing that our rover is struggling to rotate its heading point because of the rainfall. Our playground is slippery. That's why our wheel is slipping. That's why it is struggling to rotate. মিউট করা নাকি? মিউট করা? লাইট জ্বলবে তো?
ওখানে থেকে গেলে
যাতে লাইট জ্বলবে।
ওখানে
All right, good job. I see the driving on past it's indicated it's on the post as a feature, not a bug. That's
Yeah.
all right, yeah. If you want to tell it to go for the next leg.
Did we get a confirmation with the green light there?
Yeah, I saw it flashing green when it drove up to that post.
Next check.
Okay, good. I could not see it. I didn't think it did that.
Yeah, go back and look in the
Yep.
YouTube feed.
As
You'll
long as
see
you
it.
saw it.
It was a couple of meters out and it flashed green and then it proceeded to run the post over. Yeah, you're good. Go for the next leg.
Yes, sir. We are putting the coordinates now.
What's our time?
8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Okay, sir. We have 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
It's the phone.
So we have started our autonomy for the next one.
Okay.
Therefore,
আমাদের আরো ওই পাশে ছিল না গেট ওয়ান, এবারে মাঠের ওই কোনায়, ছিল না গেট ওয়ান।
পরে তো এই যে লোকেশন তো একটু ইয়াদ হয়।
আমরা তো পিচের কাছে চলে আসি, গেট ওয়ান পিচের
লোকেশন লোকেশন জিপিএস এ ভ্যালু
It seems to be flashing green.
Mobile.
Can the person following the rover move the show us if there's a post nearby?
For the camera following the rover, can you pan around the area so we can see where the markers are?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Have you
thank
seen
you.
the markers?
Yes, thank you.
Sir,
The
can you see the green flashlight?
Right. Can the person following
Yeah.
the rover back up a little bit so we can see the flashing green. Yeah, we can see that fine. What we can't see is the posts.
Yeah, we need a wide angle view.
We need to see the posts.
Post দেখাতে হবে।
Okay, the posts are here and the green light has confirmed.
Right, but it's supposed to drive through the posts.
মানে বললাম যে পোস্ট এটা নিচে নামানো ব্যাকে তোমারে বললাম যে পোস্টের মাঝখানে যে দাঁড়াও তুমি আগে থামতে পারো।
So Daryl, I believe they do need to re-begin or start this leg over from the previous post. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can do that. We can do that.
Okay. And you have
Yes, sir,
about
we
2
are-
minutes remaining.
How much?
2 minutes.
Post দাও ইয়ারে দাও। কি দিব?
All right, it's autonomously going back to its previous position. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great,
Okay.
thank you. Can the person following the rover show us where the previous post is?
We need to show the previous post. Have you seen the previous post?
Previous জায়গায় গেছি না?
আরো সামনে উপরে আছে
Okay, and that is time for this mission. Time is up.
Okay, sir.
Oh, great
Thank
job,
you.
guys. It was really
Yeah.
nicely done.
That was a fantastic performance.
Thank you, sir. But we are not performed our expected level because the field is very much slippery, so our rover couldn't move properly.
Yeah. If your rover just kept going a little further on that last one, it would have gone right through those posts. And
Yeah, sir. I think it's some bug of our program.
but yeah, good job, guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thank you,
Yep.
sir.
especially
Oh,
under the
Thank you
conditions.
so much.
Done.
So I would appreciate if you could get your team together.
Oh,
For a
Alan, they have one more. They're going to be doing the extreme retrieval and delivery mission in 1
That's
hour.
true.
So
Okay,
we can do it at the tail end of that.
got it. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Yep. So we will be back in 1
Camera
hour with the team from Mongol-Tori, and we'll pick up with the extreme retrieval and delivery mission.
Okay, sir. We are seeing you in 1 hour.
Yep.
All right. Thank you all
Thank you,
so
sir.
much. And with that, we will conclude this live stream. Thank you much.
Thank you, sir.